from our world of care, sweet hour of prayer.
Yes, yes, yes. We back again. We're back again with the interview. Yo, it's very nice. Very nice. Yo, we got some listeners out there right about now. Yeah, I want to say about big shout out goes out to Gramps Morgan. And a big shout out goes out to Shiny Culture, who's locked down right now. Shah Dizzle, Shiny C, Chico, Maria, Bucci, so Daddy D. We got a lot of people out there listening right about now, Gramps.
Yes, man. Big up all of the massive, them all of the reggae lovers, you know.
Seeing.
Gramps, that song was that one's a special one for me because that helped me get through a really tough summer I had last year, and actually you gave me permission to sing that in my church, and it was very popular. Everybody was really surprised when I told them where it came from. So I want to thank you for that. And that was a collaboration you did with Buju,
Yes.
who I believe is a close family friend.
Yes.
And you actually did several collaborations with him, and you got wasn't there an album that got an award?
Yeah, well, his album won Reggae Grammy of the Year 2011. He won the Grammy for that year for his album Before the Dawn. I produced a track on that album, so it's just a joy to see that he finally won a Grammy. I mean, despite the circumstances, but the album was a great statement album for him, and Buju's been my friends for many years now.
Yeah, 2010 was a good awards year for you. I was looking through your bio, and you got several awards in 2010.
Yes, it was let me tell you something. When we did this solo album, Buju was one of my favorite. He was one of my biggest supporters in, just leading me into doing it independently, because I didn't do it with any record label. I did it right out of my garage, and it was just like a little project, because, my day job is Morgan Heritage, of course. So these were just like projects that we all were working on individually and spending time with our children. After touring for so many years, you have to still remember that you have to be parents to the children that you are making. So while we got a chance to work on these solo projects, I got a chance to play American football again, which I had to walk away from because I wanted to focus on my music right after high school. So we just really got a chance to do what we wanted, whatever, because we felt like we earned that for so many years, been touring. It would be sometimes we would tour for 18 months, non-stop, especially in 2005 was a heavy touring year. But when this album came together, Buju was one of my biggest supporters, and I did it independently. And it was most shocking when I got nominated, and I was like, what? I think I got nominated for 5 Iramas, and I won 3 of them, and won Album of the Year in Jamaica, and I got nominated at the Soul Train Awards. It was just like, what is this? And it just goes to show you that people still love and rate reggae music, authentic reggae music and dancehall music, and it's just we as a fraternity to support the music and to make your voice be heard, because one of the things I've been telling a lot of people is to set up an iTunes account, because it's one of the main platforms to purchase music, especially digital music. Of course, there's different record shops you can buy the hard CD, because there's a lot of people that still want the hard copy, because it's nothing like putting your CD in your CD player and get the vibes. And some people still love to play vinyl, but in my generation it's all about digital music. So I have to encourage my fans and friends and family to set up an iTunes account, because it gives you a great way to get the music right away without hesitation or delay.
That was how we got this interview, wasn't it? Because we were talking about iTunes accounts.
There you go, you see?
Yeah, and I've already pre-ordered the new one.
Wicked, man. Tell them to go and pre-order it now. Who have iTunes account? I know there's a lot of reggae fans that don't have iTunes accounts, and that's why we're encouraging them to go and set it up, so we can show our purchasing power as the Caribbean people, as lovers of reggae music, whether in Europe, whether in Canada, America, or even in Africa. So we need to show the purchasing power that we love and support reggae music. because that's one of the biggest things that the Latin community has done, is that they don't go in front of the patty shop where they might sell cocoa bread and patty and curry goat and oxtail and brown stew fish, and then a man outside I sell you burnt CDs. That's one of the biggest things that's hurting our music, because you can see it evidently that when people perform live, when artists perform live, they get good crowds. So how does that add up? The math doesn't add up where there's a full packed house and then he only sold 1,000 CDs last year on SoundScan or on iTunes. It doesn't match. It's because our music is being so bootleg. So if you look at the Mexican and the Latin community, they support, they go in and they buy the CDs. And this is what we need to learn from them, our fellow Caribbean people such as Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and Colombia, all these Latin artists.
My soapbox is the people that rip off tunes from YouTube. When they download from YouTube to their iPod, and I got into an argument with a guy the other day and said, would you walk into a record store and steal a CD? Because it's the same thing. You're stealing music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's my soapbox. Skankadon, I think you have a question.
Yes. We have some people right here. Somebody asked, they're in Vancouver, and they said, when are you coming to Vancouver? Last time you played at Richards and Richards with your family, the best reggae show ever. So I want to know when you.
Last time I was in Vancouver was last year summer with Kimani Marley. I think it's called Empire Room, or I forgot the name of the venue, but that was the last time I was in Vancouver. They probably missed that show, but I was there last year with Kimani in July. Kimani Marley.
Yeah, they want to know when you're coming back.
I don't know. It looked like she never see me when I was back, because I come back already last year.
Yeah, okay. So
talking about 7 years ago.
All right. So what's the name of the new CD coming out now?
It's called Reggae Music Lives Skankadan.
All right. Just want the people them to know that. All right, bless up. All right, I know it was back in your generations and all that. I just want to ask one more question. How many generations of Morgans are there in the music business?
Well, currently there's 3, you know. You have my father, Denroy Morgan. You know, he's currently back out touring again and, you know, doing a lot of inspirational things like visiting prisons and going to the churches and dealing with the ministry of the Rastafarian movement and inspiring kids and giving them an understanding of what it means to be Rastafari. It's not a dreadlocks, ganja smoking, ital pat thing. It's a livity, it's a way of a life, you know. So that is one of my father's biggest things that he's focusing now. You have Morgan Heritage, and you have LMS, as well as Laza. You know, so you have the children of Denroy Morgan. Laza's doing very well with a song called One by One that he did with Movado. He got signed to Electra Records, Atlantic, which is about a year and a half ago. And he's been doing well. I know you have my son, Jamiri Morgan. I don't know if you get his music yet, Skankadan, but we can get that to you. Jamiri Morgan, he's my son. He's 16 years old. He just turned 17, a matter of fact, last week. So it's a 3-generation thing going on right now, and there's a lot of other artists in the industry that have children coming, you know. So all I can say to reggae music lovers is that reggae music lives, and that is one of my biggest statements within my new album, my second solo album. That's why I say reggae music lives, you know.